I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Some politicians lacking brains said in voices dripping sweet, we don't really need these trains, railroads all are obsolete. They're union strong, it makes demands, they guard their yards with railroad dicks who kick our cops clean off their lands, do not like our politics. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. So the politicians passed some laws to screw more money off the trains and deeper dip their pudgy paws in more control of railroad gains. The railroad said, get off our land. They went on strike to show their peak. The grain trains stopped their rolling and the city starved within a week. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains. Hunger riots burned and rose and battered down the State House door, and all those fat politicos were killed and eaten by the poor. And with the city out of joint and no more politician men, the railroad said they'd prove their point and sent the grain trains down again. As I was going up from town, I met the grain trains rolling down. Every day 100 trains, every train 100 cars, every car 100 tons, every ton 100 sacks, every sack 10,000 grains. And that's what cities get from trains.
Good morning, Minecraft. How you doing, Wandering Beekeeper here? Welcome, welcome. Here we are. It is Saturday morning, 8 o'clock-ish in Pacific time, 46 degrees Fahrenheit in Olympia, Washington. Content warning, I am inappropriate for all audiences. I'm an old queer man with 3 queer kids and 2 of them are trans, and I am going to talk about our lived experience, and it's Olympia, Washington, and so I can talk about weed, and I cuss a lot, and generally, you know, like I always say, I could have stopped at inappropriate for all audiences, but people always want specifics. As Mae West once said, buckle your seat belts, boys. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. Off we go. Minecraft. We are here for Minecraft. One quick bit of bright news, and let me go on and pop over here. My youngest child, she is in her mid-20s, is now in Australia with her fiancé getting the paperwork done for immigration. My trans youngest got the hell out of this fascist hellhole that we have turned the USA into. I mean, it always was. It just, you know, the covers have been pulled off, and we can all see the machinery now, and it's gotten to be pretty damn open. Yeah, this show might be political. Yeah, deal with it. We have let's see, on the trophy wall, I've got vanadium, aluminum, silver, and over there I've got titanium. Down there is tungsten. Tungsten is what I'm thinking about going for. Tungsten carbide is our next one. And not a metal, but an alloy, but, it still produces an ingot that can go on the trophy wall. A little bit of commentary here. I should do some actual reader mail here. Let's go over to community YouTube because I have a comment here on a previous stream. Says, talking about making aluminium, cryolite is a flux here. Flux was the word that I could not come up with on stream. I was coming up with catalyst, and that wasn't correct. It is a flux here. It is some form of fluoroaluminium complex, and it significantly reduces the melting point of aluminium oxide. In real life, the molten electrolysis of aluminium oxide would be barely possible, as aluminium oxide melts at 2000 C without any additives. With additives, cryolite is not the only one. It can be reduced to, I think, 800 C, but don't quote me on that. So, yeah, the flux was the word I could not come up with on stream. So thank you for that. And yeah, let's see. We have, oh, and I also had a quick little correction. It is chalcocite and chalcopyrite, hard CH like chaos because of the Greek root. This is what you get for learning a word from reading it and not looking up the pronunciation. Shame on me. Anyway, here we are. Okay, some titanium here left over from putting it up on the wall, I think. Let's go put that away. And let's just see what's involved in tungsten carbide. Well, I need tungsten carbide grit or carbide powder. The powder is made by taking tungsten powder and with hot graphite dust. Okay, hot graphite dust means going to the squeezer. The arc furnace, the grit, well, the only place to get the grit is from the ingot. So, we're going to be going the rotary kiln route to get our tungsten carbide ingots from tungsten carbide powder, and I need tungsten powder, and I need hot graphite dust. Let's start with tungsten powder. I need to put tungsten grit in the ball mill, and for that I need to put the tungsten ingots that I just threw into here. No, that was titanium. It was titanium I just threw in here. Here's tungsten ingots. Whoops, come back here. Here's a stack. Stack, stack, make a stack. Make a stack with brown and black. Although we were a somewhat goth household, and so we confused the poor child by reading it as snack, snack, eat a snack with Brown and Peter Murphy. Back black. Brown came back. Brown came back with Peter Murphy. Yeah, we confused the child. Oh well. This is life. Let's see. All right, so we got that going. Hop graphite dust requires us to have hop graphite in the first place. Let's just back up a step or two. Yeah, hop graphite dust. I just need to put coke dust in the squeezer. So I'm pretty sure I saw some coke dust here. Here's some coke dust. And was that a 1-to-1 on that? Let's check the rest. Yes, that's a 1-to-1, so I just need 1 stack of coke dust. Oh, wait. No, I don't. I'm going to lose volume here. Don't assume. Yeah, it's an 8-to-1. I need 8 stacks of coke dust. That's rather a lot. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Block of coal coke. All right, so block of coal coke goes into the recrusher. And then I need a squeezer. No, that's the fermenter, silly person. Over to here. Here's your squeezer. Okay. Here's a squeezer with nothing in it. Let's put that in it. And that. And this. And this. And start loading it up here. Always check the recipe. Always check the recipe. Okay, there's half the hop graphite I need. Okay. I need a bit more. Let's go see how I'm doing on coke dust. Here's a stack of coke dust. Here's a stack of coke dust. I need 2 more stacks. Oh, there's one of them. Give it just a second here. See if I get a stack. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, well, we'll go put 10 more of our blocks of coal coke into the recrusher. Off we go. And hook that in. And I believe I have some tungsten grit at this point that needs to go to the ball mill. So we will take it to the ball mill. Oh, lordy. This may be a while. I had forgotten how backed up the ball mill was. Wowzers. And there really is no way to... Trying to do an interrupt is going to be real... just not going to work so great. Let's have a look at the hopper. And what if I replace this? There we go. That's got the interrupt I need. The tungsten grid is now going in. Okay, let's go find our coke dust. There we go. I have 4 more coke dust and a little left over for later. Always nice to have a bit for later. Let's see. Squeezer I was using is this one. And we'll just bounce this on in. Give it half a mouth. Okay, there's the other half a stack. Presto! Got the other half a stack. Okay, half a stack. Got a stack of hop graphite dust. And let's see. Seems like I should be getting tungsten powder here some point. I don't know, it's feeding into the ball mill. I don't remember what the internal buffer is. I think there's an internal queue that's fairly large. While we're looking at waiting for the tungsten powder, let's see about high-speed steel. High-speed steel requires a steel, tungsten, vanadium, molybdenum, and manganese. Wowzers. Let's start off with steel. Do I have... Yes, here's some steel. And I need tungsten and vanadium. Well, here's tungsten. And here's some vanadium. Not a lot, but enough to make an ingot or two. I'm not going to get but an ingot or two anyway. I need molybdenum and manganese, and I know I have bloody manganese. I don't have molybdenum. Okay. How do I get molybdenum? In a blast furnace from molybdenum oxide, which I get in a gravity separator from pyrite slag powder as an offshoot. Let's see what I got here about pyrite. Here's pyrite slag. Here's pyrolusite powder. I haven't powdered my pyrite. It's because I don't have enough ball mills. I need another ball mill. Lord, I really seriously need another ball mill. I mean, look at all this backup. All right. Let's get that taken care of. Really. I mean, I need another ball mill, and it's going to point off of here. Let's just put it out here, like over on this side. I've got, where's my nearest toms? Here's my toms. So let's put it here. Okay. Any bets that I don't have anything like the stuff I need to put to start? I am so backed up here on the ball mill that I've got to go on and put another one in. I've over the let's see, ball mill schematic. Here we go. And look at my current ball mill. I'm going to need chests, obviously, and toms, and make sure I've got all that. Here's a chest. There's the stuff to wire it up. I'm missing the toms for connectivity. Here's my framed inventory cable and a basic hopper. That'll do for that. Excuse me. And, let's see. I'm going to land here and watch that for a second. Oh, hey. Her Majesty has her plate of pastries and glass of whole milk. Greetings, Queen Freya. Good to see you. I'm going to step away for just a second and leave us watching the chest and hopefully watching things draining into the ball mill. There are so many side effects to getting old. We've made very little progress, I see. All right, let's see what I can do about stepping this up. This has got to get going, or I'm never going to get anywhere with this. All right, on around. I was going to put it over here because I have a Tom's line there, and I have MV voltage here. Let's see what I can do with this. Oh, it's not showing the grid. Damn it. Well, fuck it. Let's see. Switch over and pop. Ooh. Jeez. Eh. Okay, right there. Yeah. Where's the power gonna go? I'm not sure. Now let's just fire it up and see if, oh yeah, that's good. Okay, so there we are. Here's our input, then output on the front. I'm going to have to knock a couple holes here. Oh, ooh, excuse me. Sorry. That one got away from me. I try to generally keep it quiet. Not so much into the apologizing for stuff my body does without my permission. You know, I can't. There are things that happen because I am biological. As I've gotten old, I've come to accept an awful lot. Okay, this just needs to go up and over the power lines and then connect with that. So that really ought to be about enough, don't you think? That just needs to come over here. Yeah, that clears the power line. And then we bring it around to there we go. Okay. Standard hopper. Oh, there was an update between last stream and this stream, and it's a pretty it's a small one, but it took care of a couple of things that were chafing. Got rid of the vanadium of that vanadinite recipe that caused the confusion. There is now only one chain for vanadinite, and so you can't wander down the wrong chain and lose materials. Let's see. That's set up. They also fixed. I don't think I'm going to need that. Really? There's. Oops. Damn it. That. And it's like right there. This to there. Done. Alrighty. We have a new ball mill. Let's get a lever on it, just in case I ever want to shut it off. A little baffled by what conditions might arise. And let's go get our pyrite slag. That we need for the molybdenum, and take that over as the first thing to go in the new ball mill. Now, Shmaska pump. Yes, I'm doing that thing of making cultural references from like so long ago, nobody's going to get them, except maybe the other vampires. Alrighty, got the pyrite feeding in. Okay, that should get that into production fairly a little more quickly. Let's look over here and see what else is in here that might be languishing. Calcium slag, chalcopyrite slag. There we go. The pyrolusite going in there. Vanadinite. I'm going to take the calcium slag and go send it over. Whoops. Walk it over, maybe. We'll just pretend I meant to do that. One thing I've learned is when a streamer says meant to do that, it means they totally didn't. Okay. That should have our pyrite slag checking on through. I hope. Unless it starts taking from the top of the... Oh lordy, it's taken from the top of the queue. Let me shift that. Yeah, there we go. Pyrite slag continues to drain. All right. Yeah. Okay, let's go see about what's coming into the central. Stuff that has gone through that ball mill and through that ball mill, and where are we now in the process? I need to spend some time with Create in the near future. I have not played through some of the new features. I haven't done the cardboard box conveyor belt storage system thing. Haven't got that going yet. Have not done factory gauges. I really need to get caught up on Create because the factory gauges sound like such a great thing. I was watching Willamist do Create, and she had factory gauges running to tell her about all sorts of things that were going on and manage production for her. It was a thing of beauty. Okay, I got some tungsten powder. Okay, that is enough. And if I read that correctly, it should just be a matter of crafting it together, and boom, I get tungsten carbide powder. And the tungsten carbide then goes to the rotary kiln. Which is interesting. I haven't used the rotary kiln for making ingots before. Doesn't seem to be anything in it right now. We'll load this in and check our recipe. Working on the molybdenum thing, yes. Okay, tungsten carbide ingot wants the rotary kiln at extreme high voltage? What? I'm not sure I can even produce that. EHV? I have to build the... Oh, lordy. To reach tungsten carbide, I'm going to have to build the steam turbine and the geothermal exchange and all that. And yeah, that's just not going to happen here. Oh, lordy. This tungsten carbide is just stuck. Shit. Well, I mean, I can fire this up, but it's not going to reach enough heat to do this. I didn't read the recipe properly. Shame on me. I mean, okay, yeah, it's got to like top out to be able to do this. I'm not gonna get any progress. Yeah, that's wow. I'm gonna have to peg the needle to be able to do this. Okay, let's go look at a thing here. First, put that away before I hurt myself. Let's try looking at the manual. Because what I'm looking at here, to get EHV, I'm going to need the steam turbine. And I have to achieve high-speed steel before I can build it. Okay. When paired with an alternator, it generates, there we go, 12,288 per tick, more than 3 times than a diesel generator. Alternator, high output power generator. Serious piece of equipment. Lordy. Okay, this takes high-speed steel. Extra high voltage, oh dear. Definitely not a dynamo. Okay, and this requires the geothermal exchanger. Okay, I gotta achieve high-speed steel before I can do any of that. All right, tungsten carbide remains a dream at the moment. And we will put away the ball mill schematic. And let's turn our attention back to high-speed steel, which required molybdenum, which requires the oxide that we get from the pyrite slag powder. Okay. And the urge to sing Rattlin' Bog surfaces once again. Pyrite slag powder. We have at least 2 stacks of it. Good. Got that much of it so far, and hopefully there will be more. I'm going to take that to the gravity separator. Take me to the river. Drop me in the water. There we go. Goodness, it uses real world heat. Yes, absolutely. It's going to, I'm going to, if I recall correctly, need to pack that area with magma blocks. Let's go back and look at it again, the geothermal exchanger. Yeah, it doesn't show the magma blocks there, but yeah, basically that whole area around those pipes has to be packed with magma blocks, if I recall correctly. It may, now it's going to require water coming in, and it's going to make it into steam, which then feeds to the steam turbine, which then turns the alternator, which, yeah. Hey ho, the rattling bog, the bog down in the valley ho. Hey ho, the rattling bog, the bog down in the valley ho. Yeah, it becomes one of those. All right, we are proceeding here, and looks like we're doing calcium slag as well as the pyrite slag, and we're just going to have to accept that I stepped on myself here a little bit. Okay. Oh, one of the fixes. While I'm rattling around out here, let's go look at this. There's the back of one of the small chemical reactors. Chemistry is cool. And you see, that now looks like a solid input. It no longer looks like something you connect a pipe to. It looks like something you hook up a hopper to. So they got that fixed. Yay. Wondering what the exclamation point is there. That's interesting. But yeah, that got dealt with. Let's go see what has come out of the gravity separator. Oh. Molybdenum oxide. There we go. I have molybdenum oxide. Only 7 right now, but it's good enough. Okay, we'll have more later. We'll take that. to the pelletizer and pelletize it. Pelletize me, Captain. There is a fanfic out there about the last voyage of Captain Crunch that works in a lot of cereal mascots and just hit me right in the childhood. Because I remember the competitive mascots, Quisp and Quake. I'm a Quisp kid. I was a Quisp kid from the beginning. And when the vote came and Quake was sent off and Quisp was the only one remaining, sadly, that killed the product line because it needed the competition between the two in the commercials to work. The commercials that just had Quisp were okay, were good. I mean, they were made by J. Ward Studios. But without Quisp having Quake to bounce off of, he needed the straight guy. Okay, we are doing crushed hematite ore in here. Not a lot left. This one is empty. There we go. Here's where our molybdenum goes. We'll go on and get that going. Yeah, part of the point of immersive geology is to continue on where immersive engineering started and bring a lot of real world tech into Minecraft. You know, one of the big things is that you actually have to run wiring. You have to think about impedance loads because there comes a point where you've got too much strain on your grid and your wires start popping. Had that happen, it's disconcerting. It's why I have that third generator over there running the new stuff. Okay, come on. There we go. All right, we got that. I need to land before I come out of creative. Because for some reason, even though I can fly when not in creative, if I come out of creative, it turns off my flying and then I drop and it's uncomfortable. All right, let's see. Where are we? Redstone back up a little bit too far. Nickel. And we should be seeing molybdenum. All right, here's our first new metal for this stream. I have achieved molybdenum. All right, now I needed steel. Oh, this morning's confusion is brought to you by a string called Babysitter, which I've been using for my daily. And in small quantities, it's a great daily. It keeps me chill and able to get shit done. Tungsten and vanadium. In somewhat larger quantities on the weekend, it's kind of couch glue, and it's been making things very interesting. Okay, and I'm talking about weed and forgetting my recipe. I needed tungsten, molybdenum, and manganese. Okay, so tungsten, newly acquired molybdenum. Oops, here's another ingot. and manganese, which I have in vast quantity. Lordy, so much manganese. I have been using a lovely CBD vaporizer, but there is a beautiful oxbone pipe I plan to get. Yeah, I'm just using a little silicone pipe that I paid like $5 for at the head shop, but I'm not so much into the equipment as I am the strains. Okay, let's focus here. Focusing for a moment because I'm going to the arc furnace. Arc furnace is shut off. Arc furnace is clear. I am running steel, and I'm running it against manganese, vanadium, tungsten, and molybdenum. And we'll do a distribute. Whoops. Oh, come on. Don't be a butt. It doesn't want to do it. Don't want to take it. Fine, whatever. It's being weird. Let's just kick it on. Oh, that's why I wouldn't take it. The distribute was bad. Okay, I gotta pull all of this, and let's drop it in as a unit. There we go. Pull the slag while I'm at it. Silly person. It being Saturday, this afternoon I'll be running out to the weed store. That's such a wild thing, you know. It's the Saturday after payday, so I'm going to the weed store. There are quite a few. I've been going mainly to Green Lady, which has 2 locations. Some very nice people, very good stock. Last week I went out to Olympia Weed, and inconveniently they're cash only, but they had the Dream Wedding that I raved about so much last stream. Yeah, last week. Okay, that's as much as we're getting right now because I'm out of steel and molybdenum. So we're going to clear the furnace. I've got more steel. I'm not sure I have more molybdenum. How much more I have? I only had 7. Shut it off, and woo-ha! I got a stack and a quarter of high-speed steel. Imagine some sort of triumphal march playing as I bear the ingot to the trophy wall. And we have achieved high-speed steel and started a new row on the trophy wall. Okay, with the high-speed steel in place, I can now start thinking about the components I'm going to need. Okay, let's start with the geothermal exchanger. What's the parts list? 9 thermal engineering blocks. Thermal engineering block requires tungsten sheet metal, tungsten mechanical components, and diamonds. Holy Toledo. I need to make tungsten plate in large quantity. Okay, moving on. Tungsten. Here is our friend tungsten. Let's go make some plate, and I need to look at making more tungsten. tungsten is I'm getting in the blast furnace from tungsten oxide, which I'm getting as a byproduct of cassiterite. Okay. I can also get tungsten compound by going through some major jiggery pokery that involves ammonia. Okay, I've already looked at that. Cassiterite powder. Where is my cassiterite? Cassiterite, slag powder. I don't have any cassiterite here. How am I doing on, I have no cassiterite. Okay, I gotta go get cassiterite. No way around that. All right. Let's go take this out to here. This is the plate maker. Yes. Okay. Make some tungsten plate. And I'm going to check the fuel on this and find that it is zeroed out. And let's see, here's a refinery. And the refinery is empty because it's out of plant oil. Got plenty of ethanol, ran out of plant oil. Let's look over at another refinery. Think a minute about where, there we go. Hovering right above it. There we are. Okay. A refinery that will have the biodiesel I need and make more. Now, I need to go to cassiterite. Be careful. Okay, here is cassiterite. This is kind of pathetic. Wow. Or is this just the top of it? Wonder if this is just the top of it. Let's find out. Turn on backpack. That's not a boundary layer. This is played out here. There is cassiterite up there, but it's poor. This is pretty much a played out claim. Let's go over to this one. This looks brand new. Oh yeah. Excuse me. But you know, technically I live in Tumwater, which is technically its own town, but it's kind of, it and Olympia grew together, and yeah, it's just kind of it's kind of a suburb or something. I don't know. People around here might get a little annoyed with me about that, but what the hell. Tumwater and Olympia are basically the same place. You know, it's like Nashville and Murfreesboro. Imagine here the music from Brazil when dude is driving the ridiculous little transport vehicle they gave him to do the field visit. He had to go do a field verification or something. That didn't go well. But then it's a dystopian movie. Nothing in it is going to go well. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm lost in thought for a moment. That movie is it's a very very messed up thing, and probably something people ought to see just to understand. This is yeah. It also has one of the best on-screen attempts at an antibody reaction I think I've ever seen. The one guy, the folk hero character. Yeah, it just I don't want to spoil, but there's you watch that and tell me that's not an antibody reaction. All right. This ought to get me way more than I need. But once I start going, it's hard to stop until I run out of gas. There we go. Let's go back to ops and give it a moment because it'll have to take a moment to settle in here. There's an awful lot of stuff going on here that the game has to reload. Let's not stress the system here. Okay, so I have here's rich cassiterite. Let's just start with that and get that into the crusher. Turn off the backpack. Important. Turn off the backpack. You get all that in. Then we'll follow it with the rest of this. Okay, got cassiterite going. Should have cassiterite, yeah, coming through here. There it goes. There's the crushed cassiterite ore. And I got to get it to the recrusher and then down to powder. Don't I? Let's look here. Tungsten oxide from, powder. I need powder. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach into here. And I'm going to find the crushed cassiterite ore. And I'm going to go on and key the recrusher to it. Let's go on and get that pulled out. Get it going. I am held up here a bit. While I'm waiting for all that to run, let's look at the book. Heavy engineering block, I need 2. Okay, well, I've got 1. Heavy engineering block. Oh, I need a lot of fucking steel. Oh my god, I need steel. Alright. Where's my steel? I'm a steel plate. I got diddly squat and steel. Whoops, grabbed the wrong damn thing. Grab the ingot. I need to be making more steel. I need to be making a lot more steel. Which means I need iron going through a blast furnace. And I'm pretty sure I've got more iron than I know what to do with. So there's that. And let's go get steel started here. This is still doing vanadinite. This is still doing some shit. This is doing bupkis. It is now doing iron ingots. And we will get started making iron into steel, and I need coke. Okay. Load that puppy up. Let's get going here. All right, we are making steel. I have some steel here that I'm going to take to the stomper and make it into plate. We'll make this into plate, and in the meantime, look over here and grab the tungsten and the lead. Okay. Back around here. And drop this in. And let's look at our thermal engineering. I do have some tungsten plate. Thermal engineering block requires tungsten sheet metal. Okay. We'll make 16 tungsten sheet metal. And drop it briefly in my inventory for the recipe unlock. Okay. I then need tungsten mechanical components. We'll make 8 of them initially. And then we'll make thermal engineering block. There's there's 8. How many do I need? I need 9. Bugger all. All right, we make 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's run us out of tungsten. Okay, but I have the 9 thermal engineering blocks required. Okay, I need a box. Give me... Well, I only got one chest because I normally am using creative. Let's just pop over to creative real quick so I don't use it up. And I'm going to put a box here for the current project. And thermal engineering. Done. Okay, to heavy engineering. Needed steel plate. Here is steel plate. By now I will hopefully have some cassiterite grit. There we go. Some nice quantities of cassiterite grit. And I'll fly those over to our new ball mill. Which I forgot to put a toms on the input chest. Shame on me. Okay, and we're going straight to the cassiterite. Good. Good. Okay, back over here. Got the cassiterite going. And we were after a heavy engineering block. Heavy engineering block needed a bunch of components here. Make those. Make some of that. Here's some heavy engineering block. And we needed 2, correct? Correct. Put 2 in here. Next thing. 2 light engineering block. Clear your grid. Always clear your grid. Item router. Light engineering block, I got 1. Okay, light engineering block. I need, what all do I need here? I need iron mechanical component. Oh, bugger all. All right. Iron ingot. Out to Mr. Stompy. And we start making iron plate. There's a grave temptation to put a sign on this thing that says, Mr. Stompy 3000. Of course I would do something like that. Okay. I mean, you were warned. Let's let this build up. That'll also give time for the cassiterite powder to build up. And then I can go throw more of it into the gravity separator and try and get some more tungsten. I think it was like an 8% chance. It's actually pretty good for a byproduct. Got me enough to get me here. I have not been playing through any of this during the week. And so, yeah, we're getting everything on stream. I think I want to continue the build for these things on stream and record the whole process. So yeah, however far I get today, that's where I'll pick up next week. We'll see how far I get. There's no way I'm getting this whole thing done today. It's gonna be this is a massive undertaking. Okay. Okay, here is a stack of iron plate to take back. Take this back. Oops, sugar. Got my hand warmer tangled with my mouse there. All right. There's that. And there's not that. Okay. We make a couple of these. And we make a couple of these. And then maybe we can make these. Okay, now we can make these, and we needed 2 of them. Clear the grid. Verify in the book that we did in fact need 2, and put them in. I need 16 stainless steel sheet metal. Okay. Stainless steel. Stainless steel. Hold still. Stainless steel sheet metal, I got 1. Stainless steel ingot. We'll grab grab a quarter stack of. Go bang it into plate and make it into sheet metal. See where we get. Asking for a priority interrupt here. Okay, there's our stainless steel plate. Take it around to the ops panel and see what I can do with it. What I can do with it, of course, is this. Never preface any move by saying watch this. Okay, and we needed 16. Done. 1 redstone and 10 steel scaffolding. One redstone. But not stainless. I need steel scaffolding. Steel? That's stainless. I don't have any steel scaffolding, do I? Crap and crap. Alright. Well, let's see about scaff. Steel scaffolding. I need steel rod made. Here is some steel ingot. There's a half a stack of steel ingot. Let's take it out to Mr. Stompy. Mr. Stompy is finishing off a run of iron and is about to get swapped over from plate to rod. Okay, 2 more stacks of iron plates to go in. Hurrah. How are we doing on cassiterite? Have this much cassiterite powder. Hurrah, look at all that. Away we go to the gravity separator. To the tower, Rapunzel. Hmm. Okay, get more grit coming in. I need to set that. While we're waiting on, I'm going to go out and fix that, then come back and collect the cassiterite. Excuse me, collect the steel rod. Bitty bitty. Okay, and I need a basic hopper. And I forgot to go creative. Not a big deal. And plonk a cable on top of it. And just bring this right across like that. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, cassiterite grit then goes here. And we throw this in and get the ball mill started. Okay, that ball mill will be making cassiterite powder for a little while. Off we go, back to ops. And look down here, and we are getting tungsten oxide starting to come in. There we go. That's what I need. I think the tin may be set up for being pelletized automatically here. I'm seeing tin pellets starting to roll in. Okay. All right, so we've got more tungsten coming in. I was working on steel scaffolding and totally spaced on picking up the steel rod on the way back from setting up. Here we go, stack of steel rod. On the way back from setting up the ball mill. Okay, now, steel scaffolding. I need 10, so of course it makes 6 at a time. Okay, and steel scaffolding and 9 fluid pipe. Fluid pipe. Fluid pipe requires, oops, damn it. Fluid pipe. And there I have 9. Jerk. Going for 1 more than the batch makes. Or, 2 less. Kind of assuming you're going to have a big stockpile of components by now anyway. Okay, that is the geothermal exchanger, which is going to, let's do this and hit pause on it. Okay. And the platform. All right, where am I going to put this beast? Out here a ways, I suspect. I'm not even sure how much room it's going to take up. Because this thing is working with lava and magma blocks, I'm going to put it out here. Okay, let's just go creative for a minute here and bang out a hole to put it in. And if I'm reading this correctly, it's 3 by 5. Yeah. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that I have an extra space for engineering access. And let's take this on down by 3. Replace my divot. Okay. This is where we start building the beast. All right. Let's go get parts. Thermal engineering block. Heavy engineering block. Light engineering block. Stainless steel sheet metal. Redstone engineering block. Steel scaffolding and fluid pipes. 7 different types of a block required for this thing. Okay, out here we go. Ow. Ergonomics have not been the greatest here. Better idea. Rather than going by the book, let's go by the schematic and do the hologram thing. Much better idea, I think. Geothermal exchanger. Here's a schematic for it. I will use the schematic, I just won't create it in. Okay, now, if I place it, say, there, and flip it over, yes, that is exactly where I wanted it. Okay. Ever feel like you were building a nether portal? Okay, I need steel scaffolding and light engineering block. The light block goes there, but I can't put it there yet because I need to put scaffolding around first. This does start to look a little like a refinery, doesn't it? There's the beast. Okay. Shut it off. Got a solid input here. You got a solid output out over here. Those should be fluid input and output. So we have our water going in here and our steam coming out here. Seems a little backwards. Probably should have had it facing the other direction. I wonder if that's possible. Probably is. Let's try something here. I'm going to break the redstone and see what makes the difference here. Light block there. Got two heavies here. Yeah, it's considerable. That would take a lot of. I'd have to tear it down pretty much from the platform up. Fuck it, I'll just route the pipe around. Shall I? Yeah, this is my first time trying to build this thing. I'm nervous about my redstone block go. Where'd my redstone go? I had a redstone. Backpack is off. Am I just not... Where'd it go? Where did my redstone engineering block go? All down there, did it? Okay, this is weird. This is really weird. This is not the first time I've had blocks just vanish on me like that. I was not in creative. Was I? Think I was. Alright, let's go get another redstone. Get this thing put back together. That was weird. So it was disconcerting. I didn't like it. Let's see. Fortunately, I have another one. Hmm. That's bugging me. All right, let's take. Whoops. Let's take the tungsten oxide to the pelletizer. Get it started. Hmm. All right. Fine. We'll just deal with it. Okay, I'm gonna need a water supply and everything here, and I'm gonna creative that in. Give me this and this. Oh shit. Careful. Shit, that's gonna leave me with a problem. Great. Maybe I should keep this stone. I seem to need it. Okay, fluid pipe going in. Pump. Water, water. lever on. Fluid output. It just needs power. Okay. Gonna have to have an MV step down. All right. Now, coming out of this, into new states. Thermal transfer machine. Yeah. Converts it into an output fluid, requires LV power to operate. Well, I'm going to also need it for the pump. Give me just a sec. Glorioski. Okay. All right, so we're going to be bringing this out and going for the next piece, which is the steam turbine. That's this thing. There we go. Whew. Okay. All right. Let's get started on the materials. Okay. Okay, what all am I going to need on this one? First off, put that away. Keep that in case I have to repair another divot. I'm going to put that away, and that for right now, because I'm not doing that kind of stuff right now. Not for a bit, maybe. Let's go over to here and get the schematic for the steam turbine. There we go. Now start making the materials list. I need 28 blocks of steel. Just right out of the gate. 28 blocks of steel. Let's just let that sit for a minute. 28 blocks of steel. Oh, come on, hold still. Jeez. I have 2. Oops. Somehow I did manage to grab some there. And it gets me up to 10. I had 1 up here. I'll leave it for right now. Okay. I believe I have a blast furnace over here that is converting iron to steel. It's just gonna be a little while. Let's look at the next item. 12 thermal engineering blocks. That's going to take up all our tungsten that we just made, and then some. Thermal engineering block. Yeah, about that. Gonna need a lot more tungsten. Gonna need so much more tungsten. Gonna need all the tungsten in the world. Here is a bit. I'm gonna wait until I have more tungsten oxide, which means I need more cassiterite powder going through. Cassiterite powder is now in very large quantity. And so I'm going to go over to the gravity separator and do that, and then do this. And cue powerhouse. Yeah. Metal press mold. I wonder if Powerhouse is probably not in the public domain because Warner Brothers used it so much. And they've probably got copyright and probably extended the copyright. Harumphed. Get that going. Go have a look real quick at something here. Okay, I got the cassiterite grit going and the cassiterite powder going in. We are occasionally getting tungsten oxide, but yeah, like that. But I'm also getting tin coming in, which is getting auto-pelleted. Yeah, the tin's getting auto-pelleted. This is not a problem. Okay, let's see. Stop and think. Slag powders. What all has been going through? I need to go pick up that tungsten. What all has been going through things here? That's alumina. Calcium oxide, calcium slag powder. Calcium slag powder is used in the production of ammonia. Okay. So I'm preparing that for ammonia. some of this, this all needs to go in the ball mill. There's not a lot of it, so I'm going to throw it in the overloaded mill. Probably already had some of it anyway. There we go. And back to here. What powders do I have? Cryolite, fluorite, galena slag, magnetite, a lot of that. This pyrolusite. Pyrolusite powder. Well, I can pelletize it, or I can gravity separate it and get manganese and iron. Oh my god, I don't need more fucking manganese. Yeah, that's gonna wait. Various things coming in here. Trying to keep up with what I've got going. Especially things like, you know, do I have anything particular going to the furnace? Let's look at the smithsonite. What gets done with smithsonite? It gets reduced down to powder and turned into zinc. Okay. That's manganese. Don't need more manganese. All right, I don't have anything going there. Here's 38 more of these I can throw in. Go see Mr. Stompy, and what's Mr. Stompy got for me? Tungsten plate. Tungsten plate lets me continue working on making components for the steam turbine. Thermal engineering block was supposed to be making. I got 3 already. So now I need to make a total of 9 of them, and it probably makes 8. Okay, therm makes 4. That was close. It's a multiple. Okay, thermal engineering block. And I have 11 when I need 12, and I'm out of tungsten. Okay, we're working on it. We're also working on steel. Now, I mean, this is a hulking brute here to try and build. 14 high-speed steel sheet metal. Okay. High-speed steel. Let me have half a stack and take it out to Mr. Stompy and get made into plate so I can make it into sheet metal. Sheet metal can and will laugh at you. This has got something choking it up. Okay, that's a problem. The tin is choking it up again here. Something's not right. Let's hold for a few. Just hold on to this tungsten here for a few. Okay, you are set up for plate. That is good. Let us give you high-speed steel. I like how the same die and the same machine works for all these different metals, regardless of their ductility and their hardness. And yeah, we're just using the same die for all of them. Of course, that would hideously overcomplicate things really fast. I mean, imagine having to make the various dyes all over again for each new tier of metals. Oof. There is a fine line between realism and playability. Okay, high-speed steel plate. Okay, steel plate has been obtained. Now, I need high-speed steel sheet metal. And I needed how much? 16? I need 14. Because, you know, that's how it works. And I have those that I throw back. Okay, hey, we got the high-speed steel sheet metal. Let's go and put that in here. That is our third item down. Okay, redstone engineering. I have to make more because I blew up one. I don't know what happened to there. This is not the first time recently I've had a block just vaporize. It's disconcerting. Okay, here is my redstone. High-speed steel block 12. High-speed steel block. I was able to make 5. I need to make more high-speed steel just to build this thing. Oh, high-speed steel sheet metal slab and 12 fluid pipe. Okay, the fluid pipe I can do. The fluid pipe I can do. Okay, fluid pipe is done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. Fluid pipe is done. I need to make a lot more high-speed steel. Like very large quantities. And that requires molybdenum and tungsten, both of which I'm currently working on, and steel. Let's just start looking at what I got here. So first, steel. Oh, there's some. And molybdenum, I've got 1. Okay. Yeah, this is I'm gonna be playing through on the during the week to get this done. I'm gonna have to make a lot of stuff here. I need more pyrite slag powder going through the system. Like, lots more pyrite slag, which means I have to go mine in the nether. There's more pyrite slag. We'll go throw that into the gravity separator. And see what we get. But I'm going to have to go mine more in the nether, and that's not so much great. That's not so great. Is life. Oh, lordy. All right. I'm running into a lot of stuff here that I need to go do during the week, and that's going to take up a lot of time. Let's start looking at, all right, tungsten oxide I'm getting a fair amount of, but I'm going to have to wait until all this bloody tin clears. Good Lord. That or, I'm going to have to clear the, that's also a thing I could do. I could just do this. Silly person. Now let's wait and see if these pelletizers will clear. They should. Whether they will remains to be seen. Sometimes the squirrel doesn't want to get out of the dish. There we go. That's clearing. Beautiful. All right. That cleared. All right. I got one pelletizer clear. I'm going to take this stack here. Well, there's the second one cleared. These two have not, and that one looks funky. I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to huck this into here. And take this partial stack and huck it into the one with the legacy skin. Okay. And we'll see if the squirrels will get out of the pan over here. I'm not sure they will. It's kind of messed up. You can see there's the pelletized is in the middle, and it shouldn't be. And this one, the pelletized is on the end, is just maybe loaded up massively. I'm just going to wait and see what happens. You know? What you do. I can see the tungsten pellets feeding out of the other two. Looks like this one is actually getting the tin through. It's just loaded up so massively. I had forgotten that I had the pelletizer set to auto pull the tin oxide. That kind of backed me up a bit there. Yeah, tin oxide coming there, right there. I got tungsten oxide, however, here. And I'm going to take those pellets and go drop them over here. This one's doing steel. This one is doing bupkis. Away you go. Do tungsten. Okay, that'll get the tungsten going. The molybdenum is going to require pyrite mining. So, who is this guy? Red Merchant trade offer. Gunpowder, bomb, blue bomb, cannonball, cannon rope, and firework. This guy sells explosives. Holy cow. cannon and shoot anything. Huh. I don't think I've seen this guy before. Where did this guy come from? Supplementaries, it says. Interesting. Yeah. I'm kind of interested. Have I got any emeralds? I don't think I do. No. I'm not going to magic up any. But yeah, I don't think I've seen a red merchant before. He sells cannon and cannonballs and bombs and yeah, fun stuff. Interesting end to the stream to have this guy show up. All right. Well, it is getting to be that time. I'm going to put the card up. It is the top of the hour, close enough. I'm going to have to do some playthrough this week. I got to go mine in the nether and make a bunch of stuff. I've already achieved all these metals. I need to make more of them. I'm going to do that off stream. Save the stream time for building and achieving. So, I will be back in 1 week on Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time with more Minecraft trains and tech, continuing with immersive geology. Thank you very much, Queen Freya, for being here. It is lovely having you and being graced with your presence. Thank you. If you have enjoyed this stream, my previous VODs are on YouTube in the lower right of your screen. Schedule for the community is in the upper left, and all sorts of things going on throughout the week. Speaking of which, I will be back tomorrow night, not with Minecraft, but with Roots of Pacha, a cozy farm sim in which a Neolithic people invent agriculture. Last week there was ostrich racing. Who knows what we'll have this week? Follow along in the continuing story of the Pachans and their neighbors, the Mograni and the Yakuans, and how they are winning through cooperation.